What up, everybody? Welcome to a glorious Wednesday. Fast Tracks Wednesday, as I like to say, for all those students out there that are going to join me for Wednesday nights. Remember, you can get access to dissecting code questions and trying to find the answers to those code questions by dissecting a question, and we'll go through a bunch of them. And we do this from time to time, and that helps you get better at dissecting code questions and finding out what the root is. And this not only helps you for an exam, this also helps you for when you're out in the field, because you have to go to a code book or you have to go look up something. Your time is valuable, and so you want to be that go-to person. So what are you going to do? You're going to be able to go right into the code book and be able to determine what the issue is, and you can find the answer. Boom. So that's the whole concept of being able to look up questions quickly, is to be able to dissect them and find the answer. So we're doing that tonight. So for all that. Now, the reason for the podcast is I did get an email last night from a gentleman, and it was actually going to be a Let's Ask Paul segment, but I figured I would just go on and talk about it on the normal Master the NEC podcast. He sent me an email last night, told me he just got laid off. He's extremely depressed. And, he says, I've been in the field for many years, and he's union, and he keeps getting laid off from jobs. It just cut back, and then he has to go and out of whatever the process is to get another job somewhere. I mean, he's just tired of the process. So he basically is just reaching out. I think it was really more of a venting session for him, and I get it. And so I figured I would talk a little bit about that. Jobs, losing jobs, leaving a job. What motivates you to stay in this trade when you're thinking, okay, well, how easy it is for me to lose a job, or how easy it is for somebody to, are we replaceable? That type of scenario. And the answer is that one thing I tell people all the time is don't ever get to the point where you think that you're not replaceable, because you are. It doesn't mean they're going to replace you with somebody better or as good as you, but we're always replaceable. So when we go to work every day, we're working for somebody, whether it's union, non-union, whatever, we're going to give our best, our 100% every day in order to raise it to the point where we stand out and we're less replaceable. Even though we're all replaceable, you have to increase your worth to whoever's paying that paycheck. You have to show that you bring a little bit more to the table than the normal guy that's playing around shooting wire nuts through a piece of PVC. You know what I'm saying? It's not that that's the case here. I'm just saying you always want to elevate, learn, educate, become more knowledgeable, everything to make yourself more marketable to anybody. CMECP, whatever you do, certifications, training, you want to make yourself more marketable. If you don't toot your own horn, nobody's going to toot it for you. So this is why we're embarking on a bunch of certificate programs in 2023, so that you can take these little programs on overcurrent protection or whatever, and you can submit your certification or certificates to your superiors. Not because you're going to get any more money, maybe not, I don't know. But you want to keep dropping these bombs on them to let them know that you care, that you're constantly improving yourself. Now, if you don't see the value in that, then, you don't have to criticize it. Just don't be a part of it. But if you see value in that, then you're going to be interested in our training programs that we're going to have that are coming out. Now, to deal with this gentleman, don't get discouraged. It happens, right? Just keep up the fight, keep going. Now, if you notice that you're working for the union, and this happens an awful lot, and people are going to hate me for saying this, some are going to hate me for saying this, there are a lot of non-union shops out there. That is some of the problems, at least in my experience with talking with people that are unionized, is that it's so easy to just flip people and move them in and out. They know they can go back to the board or back to the lodge or whatever it is they do. And I've never been in a union, so they go back and they can try to find them other work. I get it. This gentleman was really tired of that process. So I guess a couple choices. One, you can be entrepreneur and think about starting your own business. Start small, like a service-related thing that you don't need a union. You can go out and pound the pavement and start yourself. Or you could look outside of the unionized shop. Again, depends on where you're at. In some areas, there might not be any other options but union. And again, not to down the union. It has its benefits. And everything has its pluses and minuses. But in his case, it seems like he's really fed up with that process. But the electrical trade is still a magnificent trade. So I wouldn't say anything like, well, abandon it. Because this is an amazing profession. You have amazing skills that can be utilized. We need the workforce. So, there's other options, right? You can go non-union. You take Jay, for example. Jay is a contractor in Colorado. There's unions up there. They have programs that they go through, but he's a non-union outfit. There's tons of them. When I was in Virginia, we had union and we had non-union. My company wasn't union. So those that are diehard union are going to say, well, you should be. I get it. I understand how you feel. But it's not for everybody. And respect that. Respect the fact that it's not for everybody. Well, they have the best education. Not necessarily. They have good education. But there's options on both sides of the fence, union, non-union. Maybe you, because I know you're listening, maybe you can think about what are your options outside of union. Get in with a nice small shop that maybe you're not just a number, and they'll appreciate you more. For those that are in a union, maybe you continually do extra stuff, take extra courses, extra training. I know a lot of union guys who take our commercial program, our green program, because they want to get better. Now, our reds, greens, blues, purple, those are certification programs. So if you complete those, you'll get a certificate of completion, right? Submit them to your superior. Not trying to get any more money, but you're letting them know that, I'm not your normal employee, right? I do go over and above to learn my profession. Hey, trust me, every little bit helps, because nobody today is out there tooting your horn for you except for you. And people say, well, you got to be humble. Don't toot your own horn. They're full of shit. Look, if you're good and you do it and you're proud of what you do, because you toot your horn doesn't make you conceited. It makes you confident. You know you are and can do what you say. Now, there is a difference when you talk crap and you can't back it up. But if you can back it up, you can show the education, you can show the dedication. That ain't being conceited. I leave the humbleness for those people who got it in the bag and they don't have to worry. I swear I get tired of that type of stuff. Well, other things that I get tired of is when people go, people will say, you can't buy happiness, or money can't buy happiness. Those people are so full of crap, they're already poor. You know what I'm saying? If you've got money and you're not happy, then you're inherently an unhappy person anyway. You've got money, you can find a way out. You can make better friends. You can move. If you got money, you can do these things. You can find happiness. If you're poor, you can sit there and say that in poor, all of that's relative, right? But you can sit there and say, yeah, but I've got family, I'm happy. Bullshit. Really, you're not. Because you're worried about where the next bill's going to come from. How I'm going to put food on my table. Do I have a job tomorrow? That's stress. So you can fool yourself if you want, but you ain't fooling somebody like me. I am much better off knowing when I have money in the bank than when I don't have money in the bank. And you can say, well, that's not the same as happiness. You know what? Bite me, because that's not true. Okay? That doesn't mean if you don't have money, you can't be content right? And happy within what you have and be thankful for what you have. But don't use the saying, money can't buy happiness. Yeah, you can't be an unhappy person and have a bunch of money and all of a sudden you're going to be a happy person. That's just inherent in you. But money's not going to change that. It's going to just magnify the unhappy person that you are, right? So I hate those sayings that people have. Anyway, back to where I was at. Sorry. I'll go down those little rants now and then. So I apologize if that offends you. But I get tired of hearing that kind of stuff. The reality is, to the gentleman that sent me the email, get back on the horse. If you want to go back to union, go back. Eventually, it's going to work out. Look for your other options. Don't think that you're a one-trick pony. You're an electrician, dude. You've got the skills. So, if you can't find a union company that will keep you on because you're just a number, okay, and that's not the same for every place, but I'm just saying, then look around non-union. Look for small, medium shops that will maybe appreciate your skills and your mindset. They're out there. Don't give up. Keep plugging away. I think that it's right around the corner for you. You're gonna hit it. You're gonna get what you want. You're gonna get to that happy place. Don't give up. Never ever give up. Okay. There's no room out there for just throwing in the towel. Right? I tell people all the time, they pass an exam, they fail an exam, and then they're extremely depressed. And I get it. It sucks. But I say, what's your alternative? There isn't. Jump back on the wagon, study the proper way, get back in there, and get that license. There should be no reason why that an apprentice or a helper that qualifies for the number of hours, right, has to sit there unlicensed. There's no reason that a journeyman electrician in a state that has a master's license, there's no reason for the journeyman to spend their career as a journeyman if they qualify to sit for a master's. Dude, go for the pinnacle. Carry that master's, carry that pride. Okay? Well, I don't need it for my job, or I'm not going to get any more money. Does that really all that matters? How about the fact that we're only here on this earth for a limited amount of time? And we're trying to gather as much knowledge, learn as much. The more you learn, the easier your job becomes, right? The more you enhance your knowledge, it makes your current process of work easier because you don't have to think about it. You just know it. So then it reduces the stress. You don't have somebody present something to you and you're like, oh my God. Or a boss presents something to you and you freak out. You got it. You're like, ooh, I got this. Why? Because you enhanced your knowledge. You started learning more. You put extra time in it. Those type of things. Nobody should be sitting on their laurels. I learn something new every freaking day. I am, even when I've been teaching code for 30 some years, was an electrician, still master electrician in multiple states. I have wired residential, commercial, I've done industrial, I've done motors, I've done I've done all that in my career. I'm blessed to have been in that situation in a town which allowed me to do that growing up. Technology advances, but the principles of wiring stuff up, terminating it, running conductors and cables and raceways, that hasn't changed. It's the same as it's always been, right? We just have new techniques, we have new tools, things that make it a little easier for us. That's great. But the principles haven't changed. You remember, we're still using the same concept of copper and aluminum conductors that we've used for 100 years. All right? So, just because new technology, new advancements come out, doesn't change the principles. Okay? So, continually learning new technology, new approaches, new methods, learning the code. The code is always expanding, changing, adding new things to it. Clarifying. That's the mental part of the game. It's not just the physical, okay? It's not just about running the raceways. You've got to get the mental advantage. And that's why we learn code. Because it simply makes our day easier. The less you have to think about an issue. Right? So, this gentleman out there, don't give up. Press forward. go back to the hall, they call it, or whatever it is, take another job, get money in your pocket. But while you're doing that, it doesn't hurt to do your research. I mean, we got to put food on the table. But do your research. Look for any non-unions. Look around and see what other opportunities that are available to you. Remember, you have other doors. You could become an inspector. You could do third party. There's other avenues. You could become an instructor. There are other things that are out there for you. Don't feel like you're a one-trick pony. Okay? But the profession, being an electrician, is a noble. I love this profession. I think you should stay at it. It sounds like you have a passion. It sounds like you want to do that, but you're frustrated. It's okay. It's okay to be frustrated. We all get frustrated. We all wonder and question why we do what we do. But stay at it. Stay the course. Look at your alternatives. Look at your other options that you have. And just, keep plugging away. You also know that you can reach out to me anytime you need to talk. My number and everything is on our website. All you got to do is go to the Contact Us page, and all that info is there. You contact us, you will get directed to me personally. More than happy to talk to you about any of those type of things. Before you make some drastic decision, make sure you reach out. All right? All right, folks. That's it. I just want to do a quick morning and holler at you. For all you fast track students, again, Wednesday nights, tonight's the night, we're going to be doing our fast track speed round. Make sure you join me. If you want to know again how to get to the session, go to the members area on the website, the Electrical Code Academy website, or go to the Sparky Hub, and if you have permission to get up into the fast tracks folder, and there's instructions for how you do that, but it's only available to fast tracks members. If you want to do that, do it that way, and you can get access to tonight's class. All right? Till next time, folks, stay safe. God bless.